Thank you, Nora. That was wonderful. Wonderful presentation, a very detailed one, giving everything that a student wants to know. So thank you very much for that detailed presentation.
Absolutely.
I will move to the second part where we are going to have decoding the university webinar. So EACC decoding the university webinar, where I'll be asking you questions which are student related, and there could be also students who can also participate in this, and they will be also asking you the questions. Okay. So first and foremost, basically, you have very well put it that there are very advantages basically of choosing Budapest Metropolitan University because it's the largest private university. It has a lot of international students around from 100 different countries. The fees are quite affordable, which is, let's say, 3,600, 3,700 euros. So per semester, I'm talking about, which is, I'm giving you approximate. Some semester, some programs would be less, some programs would be little more, but around 3,600 euros. Per semester. You have an option of getting $1,000 scholarship from this university for 30 students, and then if the students perform, then there's an option of getting further scholarship in the second year. That 20 hours per week where you can manage at least 60% of your accommodation or maybe 70% of your accommodation and living cost. There's an application fee waiver if you apply through Education Abroad Counseling Center. So there are a lot of points which you have mentioned in your presentation, which a student can take. But some of the important points that I felt is basically the student doesn't have to take IELTS. So you don't have to mandatorily take an IELTS exam. If you have a good English, if you can present yourself in the Zoom interview, if you can explain things well, then you have a chance of getting into Budapest Metropolitan University without IELTS. For bachelors or for masters. Am I right or am I somewhere wrong? Please guide me.
Absolutely. IELTS or any type of English certificate is not a requirement, neither from the embassies. So talking about the visa procedure from visa purposes as well, it's not a requirement and not a requirement from our side as well. There is a Zoom interview where we will test and of course evaluate the English level skills. Absolutely.
Perfect. The second most important selling point of Budapest is you also have a 9-month stay back option where student can stay. Now, in this option, either the student can work in Hungary or they can also look for options in other European countries where basically you are allowed to travel because of the Schengen visa. Can you just help me with that as well?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yes, absolutely. Basically, we have a legal advisor, as I mentioned through my presentation, and we are basically guiding you through all the visa procedure. She's here to support you with all the necessary steps to take before you go for the visa interview. We also have supporting documents before you go for the visa interview. Absolutely right.
Okay, I just wanted to know about the 9-month stay back option after you finish your program. Are students allowed to work in Hungary, outside Hungary as well? Can they find the jobs?
The 9-month stay back option is for Hungary. So basically finding a job in Hungary.
Okay. And since you are allowed to travel to other countries, can a student apply for a job and take interview in other European countries where it is allowed?
Yes, they can, but they will need to start the process of getting the residency permit in their location, but they can, yes.
Perfect. Before I take more questions, there's a question from Uday Sonawane. He wants to know the duration of the bachelor's program.
The
length of the program, bachelor's program.
Sure. So basically it depends on which program you are applying to, but most of the bachelor's program will take 6 to 7 semesters. So 3.5 years in length, the bachelor level programs.
Perfect. Also, one more selling point of Budapest Metropolitan University is Erasmus program that you have. where a student can basically, after 1 year of study, taking a language course, he can take a transfer to some other European country where the fees could be higher, but he will be paying the same fees that he's paying to Budapest Metropolitan University. That's one. And second, he'll be also getting a 500 euros per month, pocket expenses as a scholarship. Can you just tell us a little bit more on that, because that looks very exciting?
Yes, so basically, as I mentioned, that physically you will be in one of the chosen destination, let's say in Western Europe, and you will still be paying the low fees of Budapest Metropolitan University. What's very important and why we suggest you to turn to our career center if you get accepted to Budapest Metropolitan University and you decide to enroll to Erasmus Scholarship Program, because they will help you find the best and the closest curricula that you choose match with your program. It's very important not to lose credits, because as I mentioned, you can transfer the credits back once the exchange semester is over to Budapest Metropolitan University. So the aim is basically to find the university which offers a very similar program with a very similar curricula of your program that you chose at Budapest Metropolitan University. So you are not losing credits being outside of Budapest Metropolitan University physically and studying at the university in one of the chosen countries.
Perfect. So in this way, you can get 2 country exposure. Besides you studying in Budapest, you also get 1 more European country exposure, and this international exposure can add value to your profile and will make you more marketable and employable in the industry. So the next basically is about the UK university partnership that you have. I just want to know more about it, that if I get it right, the student can do the first year at Budapest Metropolitan University. The student has an option either to complete the entire program at Budapest Metropolitan University and get a UK degree, or also take a transfer to the UK university and get a 30% discount on tuition fees. Am I right?
So basically right now what we can offer, what we are contracted with Northumbria University, is once the students graduate from Budapest Metropolitan University, after the graduation they can go on 1 year study at the Northumbria campus at Northumbria University, finish their studies and get a UK degree as well. So basically get the Budapest Metropolitan University's diploma and then going to Northumbria, paying 30% discounted tuition fee at Northumbria, and 1 year they can get a UK degree from Northumbria. That's right now that we are offering the top-up program. But we are working on more options, but the contract is right now signed on the top-up program. I'm really hoping that within 1-2 months, I can share with you more news, because we are aiming for a 3+1 program as well, that basically students will study at Budapest Metropolitan University and they can transfer to Northumbria and get the UK degree, so not a dual degree. So that's what we are working on now. But right now, what we are contracted with is the top-up program, and I really hope in 1-2 months I can come back with positive news that we are offering 2 types of collaboration with them.
Perfect. So let me just add a twist here and ask you a question and get a clarity here. One option is basically a student completes the program at Budapest and then takes a top-up program at the UK university and Northumbria University, and he gets a 30% discount, and after the program is allowed to work in UK for 2 years post-study work. The second option is, just I wanted to check on that, is the student completes the program at Budapest Metropolitan University, work in Hungary for 9 months, and then can you take basically the top-up program of UK and pay 30% discount tuition fees and still be eligible for 2 years of post-study work? just little
So
Yeah.
basically, they will need to go to complete the UK top-up program after graduation. So it's basically after they graduate and after graduation.
Perfect. So it's after graduation, they will have to
Yes.
go for a top-up program. Got it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. There's a question from Karen Fernandez, and she wants to know about the exchange program is only for bachelors or also for masters, the Erasmus program.
It's both. It's both. Even if you enroll to bachelor or master level program, you are entitled. Basically, you can take part of the Erasmus.
Okay.
It's for both of the students.
There's one more question that basically when you apply for Budapest, IELTS is not required. Later on, when you are going to get if a student wants to get a Northumbria degree, will UK IELTS be required?
Yes, later on, yes, I can show it to you that basically the requirements, I can show it to you that basically, yes, IELTS and the level should be 6.5 overall and no components being less than 5.5. So by the time students are transferring or let's say the top-up program are going to Northumbria, yes, they will need to complete the IELTS and the 6.5 overall score with the 6.5 overall score.
Karen, regarding your last question, do they need to apply for UK visa? Yes, they need to apply for UK visa because
Yes,
because it's
yes.
a different country, so you need to have a permission to enter into that country and study. Perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. It looks quite affordable when you apply. Basically, that a student is allowed to have 20 hours per week. How much does basically Budapest Metropolitan University helps in getting those jobs for 20 hours per week? That's one question. And second, how much does the Budapest Metropolitan University help students in preparing for the job after they finish their program?
Sure. So basically, we have a career center. So once students arrive to Hungary, the career center is helping them with the list of the partners that we are partnering with the companies, of course, multinational level companies as well. So bigger and smaller entities as well. And of course, then the students can discuss their interest. And of course, the career center will help them find the jobs, will suggest them how to find the jobs, or will help them actually dive even into the direction, what direction they would like to go. So absolutely, we have, and about you asked about the percentage, the students working, oh, I will have to check on that with the career center. I can get the numbers. I will have to check on that number. But as far as I'm aware, our international students do take the opportunity. As much as I talk to the students, especially the ones that I know coming from my partners, and I do follow up with them, they do find jobs. They do, and they do often come to the career center for advice, for helping them find the jobs, but I can get percentages as well. It's very common now in Budapest that companies are offering the student jobs for the students, for especially international students, because one important thing I did not mention, that basically Budapest is very multinational. You don't need to speak our language. I speak Hungarian, but you will not need to speak the language. If you speak English, that's perfect. It's more than enough. You will be comfortable living in Budapest, finding jobs and getting your way around.
Perfect. I was going to ask the same question now, that how much important it is to basically learn an Hungarian language so that, student can stay back, can find job, how much it is important for students to learn Hungarian language to find jobs. So I guess you have answered that. Thank you.
Yes, it's personally, I have many friends and students who could not, of course, study Hungarian because they went to Erasmus, they started to study a different language. And of course, I know studying in English, it's sometimes could be, of course, not the easiest task in a totally different country. So no, you don't need there are friends of mine that working here after they finished the universities, and they did not learn Hungarian, and they are living very comfortably. So you don't need really, you need English. You need a good level of English.
Okay. And to those students who have basically the fear of maths, one important thing is that you will get a sample questions, which is 25 questions, which can help you to prepare for maths. We are also at Education Abroad Counseling Center will be there to guide you and help you basically see that your concepts are clear, so that it can help you to basically, clear this test. It should not be difficult for you. This is important because there is going to be a maths test at the visa time as well. So it just prepares you for that visa interview as well, and it helps you to clear. So there is two purposes in this. One, basically, if the course requires maths, it is better that you understand this concept, and these concepts are basic 9th and 10th level, because we Indians are good in maths. Our concepts are better. This is my experience being into this industry from last 22 years. So it should not be difficult for you. So those people who have that fear of maths don't have to worry much, because we have a strong maths fundamental. And in case you still find it difficult, we are there to help you. Plus you get this 25 sample questions. So these questions will help you to clear those 10 questions that is going to be asked in the Zoom interview. So don't worry about the maths. IELTS is not required. If you can speak well, if you can communicate your ideas well, if you can express those questions that were mentioned, why Budapest, why basically Hungary, why particular program, or all those little questions, that you can express those questions well, clear, help the committee to understand that you can speak well, you can communicate well, you can express your idea well, then you should have a good chance of clearing the Zoom interview. So don't worry about this interview process. It's just to guide you, to help you to select, so that you are a best fit for the program, and you don't have to later on have to worry about communication skills. Okay, so the basic communication skills are required. We are, most of the Indians are reasonably good in English, so I don't think that should be a problem as well. Thank you, Nora, for answering all so many questions. Any final tips from your end that you want to tell about Budapest Metropolitan University and to our students, besides the application fee waiver that you have offered to us? Thank you very much for that as well.
Yes, that basically, if you would like me to host another webinar, we can talk about it further. I can basically offer you hosting another webinar talking deeply about the Zoom interview. So basically, if you are choosing of course EACC, so as coming through our partners, then I can of course offer you host a webinar, getting a little bit detailed information about the Zoom interview. So basically getting you ready for the application procedure, because of course that's the first step, and after that step, once you are basically accepted, of course I will guide you through all the process and procedures as well. But I think that's the most important step.
Thank you, Nora. That was wonderful. And you will shortly receive an email from us regarding this, and we will be hosting a second webinar on Budapest Metropolitan University, where you can get detail about the Zoom interview process. What is it? What is in it? And how to prepare for it. And this can help you to get into the Budapest Metropolitan. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for all your time and attention.
Have a good weekend, and thank you again for the detailed information and for decoding Budapest Metropolitan University for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I hope to see you in Budapest soon.
Yeah, sure. I will be there very soon.
All of you. Thank you. Have a great evening.